These are the stories of the people who enrich our community.
Calling Kent Home, Mayor Edition. Meet your mayor, Suzette Cooke. We ask her a number of questions, including, what inspired you to run for mayor of Kent?
I moved to Kent in 1975 to direct the Kent Senior Center. I loved that job because I learned so much from the seniors. And one of the things that they told me was that I should be mayor. Well, yeah, right. I was in my mid-20s, like I thought I could ever be mayor. But the words that they had imparted to me actually ended up planting a seed that stayed with me all through my following jobs. And I kept thinking, yeah, someday I want to be mayor of Kent. After all, when I moved here, I had decided to adopt Kent as my city. So I set down my own roots here, and I have never regretted that. I could think of nothing more honorable or joyous than finding myself in a position of being so fortunate as to serve the people of Kent as their mayor.
What was the most surprising change you've seen in Kent?
When I did move to Kent, it was always a choice that I'd have to make every morning. Do I go by the horses or the cows or the llamas or the sheep? We had lots of open ground here in Kent. Now, we did have Boeing in a very robust stage. So we had a manufacturing warehouse base in the valley, but still, the city was only 23,000 people. Oh my goodness. Today, we are over 122,000 in population. So the sheer number of residents has increased dramatically. And I certainly don't see those horses or cows now within the city limits as I used to. The other thing that has been so amazing, so enriching about Kent has been the joy of all the individuals that have moved here. We are truly where the world has come. And the richness of the cultures, the different points of view, the skills, it is just it makes this city to be a city of fun and of exploration. There's always something new that I'm learning. If anything, I really do believe that Kent is a giant world experiment, and we are being very successful at being a place in this world where all the different cultures can live together, worship together, respect each other, and grow together.
What long-term changes would you like to see in Kent?
When I think about our future, one of the things that I want to make certain we keep in mind is we must be very, very careful to preserve our natural assets here. In fact, where I'm standing in Earthworks Park is a great example. As the city has built around this particular park, we have this large green space, and it is varied. It has a theater stage in the back of it in the trees. It has a pond that the ducks flock to. In fact, that pond that looks kind of like a donut, if you can imagine originally what was planned here was a water detention pond. That would have meant gravel and a wire fence around it, certainly not a people place. But instead, because of the creativity of the leaders of that day, back in the mid-70s, we have a park that has so many different activities that can occur here. I've seen weddings, I've seen concerts, I have seen sledders when we do get that rare day of snow. It is just a peaceful, interactive part of nature. That whole idea of both preserving our nature and integrating our nature into utilitarian needs that we have is what I think is so key as we look to the future of Kent. Let's go to the Green River. We know we have to continue to improve our levees to make certain we don't flood this valley. But think of the joy, think of the gift to all of us by being able to not only provide those levees, but maintain bicycle and pedestrian routes along the river, to be able to not only maintain the fisheries, but actually improve the salmon fisheries on the Green River. And we have our fowl, our birds, that is. We've got a wonderful natural resource area adjacent to the Green River. So this integration of nature, of people, and of the utilitarian needs that we have is what really makes Kent stand out and will help us in the future appreciate Kent as our home.
How do you describe Kent to a person who has never been here?
I really enjoy having new people explore Kent with me. And whether we do it physically or just mentally, to be able to talk about this richness of cultures that have arrived here, to be able to give a sense as to the bustling business community we have. Oh my goodness, our roots may have been in farming, and those roots are still here. After all, you've got to take a visitor to Carpenitos, our great farming mecca here. But also, we have the water jet that was created here in Kent with Flow. We have aerospace designs. You know, they are building, and this is what shocks people, they're building a spacecraft for you and me right here in Kent. I've been to the bunker where they test it. Shocking. So while we may see a lot of rooftops in the valley, it is a delight to the visitors to find out what's really behind those large doors and under those concrete roofs.
What do you do for fun? What are your hobbies?
Since I became mayor over 10 years ago, I think that my hobby has truly become my job as well. The two have kind of blended together because I have so much fun as I learn more about the people and places within my own city. But I do also love to get away, and I have to say it's really in nature, that's what calls me. My very, very, very favorite thing to do is to go hiking and combine that with camping and fly fishing. That's my Garden of Eden.
Why did you choose Earthworks Park for your interview?
Earthworks Park has a lot of meaning to me because this whole design by Herbert Bayer it truly exemplifies that ideal of making something beautiful and interactive with people that also serves such a utilitarian role as holding back floodwaters. And on a personal note, Earthworks Park was the very first foundation that I contributed money to. So it will always be special in my heart as knowing that I got to pay for a little piece of this. Therefore, this park, I have a little piece of this soil and these trees, and that just makes it special.
Tell us something about yourself that we don't know.
I am really hooked on Sudoku. It's something I do every morning. I'm one of those that still loves to get the ink-stained Seattle Times newspaper, and I make myself read section A and then section B until I get to the back, and then I do my Sudoku every morning before I go to work, and both of the crossword puzzles. So I'm kind of nerdy that way, but it's interesting. While that's my wake up along with my cup of coffee, yes, I grew up on coffee. At night, I do Sudoku when I go to bed. And I know when I can finally close my eyes when the pen drops out of my hand.